Hi guys, so in this short video I will show you how to determine the signs of the trigonometric functions sine and cosine in the corresponding quadrants. So let's start with the first one. So if you have some angle in the first quadrant, let's say like this, and let's denote it with alpha, then it will intersect the trigonometric or unit circle in a certain point, and that point has its x and y coordinate. And now what you just have to remember is where you read which value. So on the y-axis, you always read the value sine. And on the x-axis, you always read the value cosine. So to determine the value, you just have to see what is the sign of the coordinate of that point. So as you can see, we are in the first quadrant. So this is y, and it's on the positive side of the y-axis, meaning that the sine value is positive. Similarly, we look at the cosine value. So it is here. This is the positive side of the x-axis, meaning that in the first quadrant, the value of cosine is also plus. On the other hand, now let us consider the second quadrant. Oops, delete it a bit more. So if you now have, let's say, a situation like this, we have now an angle which is in the second quadrant. So this is the second quadrant. Again, it will intersect the unit circle in some point, and that point has its x and y value, and we just look at the sine. So the sine of this angle is always read on the y-axis, and as you can see, the y coordinate is positive, meaning that in the second quadrant the sine value is positive. Now the x value on the x-axis is on the negative part, meaning the cosine of this angle will be with negative sign. Similarly, now if we just think about it, if we would intersect somewhere in the third quadrant, the y value is negative and the x value is negative, meaning that both sine and cosine are negative. And if we look at the fourth quadrant, as you can see, if we intersect anywhere in the fourth quadrant, the y value will be negative and the x value will be positive, meaning that sinus will be negative and cosine will be positive. And that's it. That's an easy way for you to remember the signs of the trigonometric function sine and cosine.